Alright guys, welcome back to part 16 of Judgment. In the previous two videos we had a chill stream, which technically should have been Thursday, Friday. You know, doing side content. Completed some of the side content and then visiting all the stores, trying to build relationships and stuff like that, getting our town's reputation up. There weren't too much going on in the second video. It is what it is, but we saw some funny moments here and there. But that was an hour and 40 minutes. Today we're going to be doing the main story. Now the place we're going to be going is the place where we called up for some info and they wouldn't give us it over the phone. We wanted to contact them regarding the last phone call of the lawyer that got killed. He contacted the place where apparently I convicted a dude who used to work there. I can't remember. Did he work there? Whatever. I'm not even too sure. But yeah, so if I look at case file, main case, Coach murder, was that it? Yeah, a previously missing ADDC patient found in remote mountains of Oklahoma. Okay. Yeah. So this guy worked there or something and he killed him? He was subsequently arrested. The suspect, the prosecution presented the case, premature murder. Yeah, that's right. He killed someone. The victim hospital wrapped up the body sheets and dumped in the mountains. And we defended this guy. Yeah, and then this is the same guy that after he did this, went on, after we got him out of this situation, went on to kill his girlfriend. And we got him off on that as well, which is insane. Whatever. It is what it is. So that's where we're going now. The lawyer who's been killed phoned this place. So let's go. Let's check skills. We got 2,600, upgraded some things, but I'm not too sure what our main goal is right now off the top of my head in terms of what to get. Like specifically, because we've done a lot of health stuff, which has been good. This is battle stuff. To be honest with you, I don't really need that right now. Ability is where I'm at. But again, I'm not too sure. We've done health. We've got that maxed out. Boost is 6,000. That's attack boost. We've already done one. Boost combo speed. That would be beneficial. I can't remember what we was going for now off the top of my head. This is just... We have the ability to get a girlfriend now, which is kind of cool. We haven't done that just yet, so you haven't missed anything when it comes to that. Blame shifter, I don't care about that. Dating with smooth talk, we did the dating aspects of it, have a good effect on our ability to get chicks or whatever. Best friends forever. Okay, so this is charge up your gauge when a friend meets you and greets you in the city. Kind of weird. This one's 1,000. Sweet fridge. Which I'm tempted to do, really. But again, I can't remember what we was aiming for. Specifically. Was there something big that I wanted? I don't even know. Let's just do the fridge thing. Or should I do it again? You know what? I'll do it again. That gives us more options to have stuff. Done. So that's fully done. We can now move on to other things, you know, in the near future. So anyway, what we're going to do now, we're going to crack on to this place, and we're going to do the main thing, the main story. And basically, as well, the guy who's like the junior lawyer at our office who took our place, kind of thing, is basically helping us now. But we told him, like, hey, this is a risk to your life, man. You could die. You can get killed. The clan could come after you. Head to ADDC. What the hell is this? Oh, come on, man. Yeah, they got weapons. Oh, come on.
Nice try, jerk.
Oh, man. I feel like they've gotten harder. Oh, damn. You ain't going nowhere, son. I'm trying to throw him. There we are. Nice. Ooh, play pass. Ah. Ooh. Very nice. Bitch. 6,000 for my troubles. Nice, I got 606,000. Okay. Not bad. Alright, what's up, dude? We going? Alright, the base fare is 400 yen, we'd like to go. ADC. Let's be on our way. 130. Let's see what they have to say for themselves.
I've heard a bit about this place before. But the ADDC, isn't it just one part of a larger organization? If I recall correctly, they call it the Medical Institute. Is that accurate?
Yeah. They own every last inch of this campus.
It's incredible. Even with all these buildings, they're still getting budget to expand from that new drug. So? Is it the same as you remember?
Yeah.
Sorry. Also, these people are the ones that claim to have a drug for Alzheimer's that will cure it. And they're... I'm not too sure who is it now. They're getting involved, or someone's getting involved who's back in the clan. I don't know if it's these people, but basically they're getting involved in the political world as well. So they want to make changes. A construction company, sorry, is trying to get involved in dealing with Japan and everything, trying to win contracts, multi-million-dollar contracts. So yeah, it's all going on. We'll see how it plays out. I can't remember every little detail. Very complex story.
Don't go too far ahead, Yagami-san.
Get out of the car, dude. You had a rucksack on. What's wrong with you? They're no doubt going to recognise me.
What are you all shaken up for? Calm down. Just stick with me and you'll be fine. Got that, Yagami?
Yagami-san!
Having
Try not to
flashbacks.
just ditch me, okay? Is something wrong?
That was a lawyer that got killed, right?
After 3 years, it still looks the same.
Huh?
Almost like time itself has stopped.
Yagami-san.
Come on. Front desk's over there.
Alright. Crazy Taxi 2? What? Okay. We'll speak to reception desk. How many points do we get? Alright, we've got 531. Whatever, that's fine. Let's go. Oh. Yeah. She pretty cute? Nah, it's alright.
Do you have an appointment, sir?
I don't, sorry. My name is Hoshino, from the Genda Law Office. This is my partner, Yagami. We're here to talk about a murder that took place in Kamurocho yesterday.
A murder?
A coworker of ours named Shintani. He was the victim.
We have a record that he called this center before he was killed.
Huh?
We're hoping you can help us track down exactly who he spoke to.
I'm very sorry, sir, but I can't provide such private information.
Well, could I at least talk to Director Kido instead? He's an old friend of mine. Just let him know Yagami stopped by, to say hello.
I don't think that'll be necessary. Look over there.
He looks worried. He will not be happy to see me. Is this the guy that became the director? Yeah, he used to run it, and now he's the director after so many years.
Gentlemen, I really don't know what else you want from me. I have nothing more to say. I've told the police all that I know.
Director of ADDC, Kido.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about all this, Director. Problem is, my partner here won't give it a rest till he sees the scene of the crime. But I'm sure we'll be leaving soon.
That's not what we agreed upon. You know this isn't about how long it takes.
3 years earlier.
And what about Okubo? I take it he's still not fessed up.
No, not quite as of yet, sir. But we all saw where the body was. Exactly where he said it would be.
Quite true. Not much point in fighting this now. The Minister has made it clear that he wants it resolved soon as well. Just look at how much trouble one contractor has caused.
Sorry, which minister? I didn't know about this, sir.
The Health Minister. It's all his call how much funding we get.
Director, if I may, if you would just direct me to the scene of the crime, I could head over there myself. I'll be out of your hair in no time, I assure you.
I'd rather you didn't wander on your own. So instead, she can show you. Terasawa-kun, these gentlemen here are Shintani-sensei and,
Yagami.
It's a pleasure. I hope I can help you find what you need.
Well, with that, I'll be taking my leave.
Thank you again, Director. Apologies for all the trouble.
So, Yagumi wants to investigate the scene of a crime specifically. The director's not too fond of it, and obviously the health ministry, want to wrap up the situation quickly. Maybe there's a bit of a cover-up going on at the ADDC, like maybe somebody else did it and they kind of framed him. I don't know, kind of weird. And he says that they are, I think obviously the health ministry is in charge of how much money they get. Of course they're developing this new drug, this was 3 years ago, so interesting.
This way. I can show you how to get to Waku-san's room.
Who's Waku-san?
The guy who died in his room?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
And you are... Terasawa-san, huh? Wow, you're young. And a looker to boot.
Oh, God.
Can we keep this professional?
Jesus
Nice
Christ,
try.
dude.
Shintani-sensei.
Not the friendliest girl in town, huh?
We're not exactly welcome guests here.
After I busted my ass to pass the bar, I always figured I'd have my pick of the ladies.
Damn. Okay. We'll speak to you.
Please. Straight ahead.
A little bit
is
more
the
charm,
ADDC's general
maybe,
ward.
from him.
Waku-san's room is on the 4th floor.
Hospital, central ward, 4th floor.
This was the room assigned to Waku-san.
What's down there?
That's the research wing, where they develop all our new drugs.
Oh.
You can't get in without a gold key card, though. Not even I have one.
Gold, huh?
I suppose because it's the heart of the center's operations.
Huh. Sounds like it's a whole nother world back there. Security like that must be a bitch. Come on, Yagami.
Before
Are you
he
using the
died,
drugs on the patients?
Waku-san spent most of his time in here.
And when was he admitted?
2 years ago. With Alzheimer's.
Some kind of dementia, right?
Alzheimer's is a neurodegenerative disease that leads to dementia, yes. In fact, it's the cause of almost 70% of all dementia cases.
So, they're one and the same, kinda? Anyway, do what you gotta do, Yagami.
Okay, so we can research the place. Damn, okay, let's look at that face. Woo! Damn, pretty. I like her. A nurse at the ADDC hospital. Okay, well, obviously. Doesn't look too happy, probably because Shinati Sensei has been a creep since he lays eyes on her. Yeah. Or maybe she's just always tense. Maybe. Stressful job. Okay. Whatever. I know we've got to investigate the bed. Yeah, it's something funny actually. I know people with dementia. I've seen them deteriorate. It's quite bad. You know, people going through a slow, steady decline. Sometimes it can happen rapidly as well. 1 minute you're fine, the next day the person's like totally confused and everything. It's an awful disease. Really is. My friend's granddad has it. My nan had a touch of it, or has a touch of it. My great nan has, or she passed away now. You know, I think 2013.
Hey, has anyone else slept here since Waku-san's death?
Nobody, no.
And Waku-san was missing from his room the morning of the incident, yes?
That's right.
So he was murdered here, then carried out.
I can't say for sure, but it's likely.
Working out assumption, how was his body carried outside? Well, somebody must have seen. So this person, maybe what? It's not. What the hell? I didn't do anything. Carried him on their shoulders, or maybe pushed him out in a wheelchair, just pretended he was asleep, or maybe pushed him on a trolley. Investigate the bed. Investigate the window. Okay. Now I'm gonna show.
What the? The window's sealed shut. There's no way Waku-san could have escaped through here.
The entrance.
Hey. All the rooms have windows like this, right? Seems like people would notice if something was going on in here.
Well, we only have so many employees in this ward. The halls stay fairly busy, but it's mostly dementia patients moving between appointments.
I see. I wonder how the room looks from the hallway.
You got all you need from here, yeah?
I think so.
So security. Okay. Stop investigation.
You can definitely see what's going on from out here. Shintani-sensei, can you lay on the bed for me?
I guess so. Care to join me, Terasawa-san?
Oh, damn! Yo, calm down, dude.
It was a joke.
So from this vantage point, you can't make out the person's face.
So, was this the colossal waste of time I knew it'd be?
Nope. I got something I'd only get from being here.
Does it matter? It's been days. Case is practically closed. Shinpei Okubo is guilty as hell.
Well, according to him, he's not.
Well, of course that's what he says. Consider the facts, though, man. You want to review the case?
Review the case quick. Well, I want to review it, yeah.
Sure. Let's go over what we know so far.
Whatever you want. All right, here we go. Our victim was the patient staying in this room, Koichi Waku, male, age 66. At 8:30 a.m. on the morning of the crime, the nurses noticed he was missing from his bed. Given Waku's degenerative state, they assumed he was wandering around the hospital somewhere. But after being unable to track him down, hospital staff filed a missing persons report.
Right.
You know what a dementia patient's like, though. Hard to imagine they'd make it outside on their own. The only conclusion then was that somebody must have taken him out of the hospital. After inspecting all the cars that came in and out of the center, they were left with one possible suspect. A laundryman by the name of Shinpei Okubo. It didn't take much prodding for Okubo to confess burying Waku's body out in the mountains. And
Why did he confess then, if he's innocent?
After Waku disappeared, the cops found his body rotting away right where Okubo said it'd be. Cause of death was most likely suffocation, but they still don't know for sure. Any objections to this so far, Yagami-sensei?
Actually, yeah. You're forgetting something.
And what's that?
Okubo-kun insists he didn't kill anyone. All he admits to is dumping the body.
You can't say for sure that the guy who dumped the body actually committed the murder. Well, that's true, but at the same time, if I find a body, right, wherever, in my home, or wherever, in a hospital, I'm hardly going to start transporting it up into the mountains and dumping it there. The only way, in theory, not even in theory, but like I would do that, is be like, well, and even then it's misguided to say, like, if my friend wanted to be buried in the mountains, and I want to honour his thing, like, he's still dead, I've got to report it, and then, like, go through that whole process of, look, oh my god, this person's dead, blah, 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 and then when it comes to bury him, tell the family, hey, look, you want to be buried in the mountains. This guy's just, like, supposedly seen a body, then moved him to the mountains. That doesn't make sense. Even if he was on some kind of drug, that must be some weird, bizarre drug where you're controlling someone. Let's face it. I mean, this guy is probably, in theory, he's a bit of an oddball, a weirdo. He's got this low-paying job. You know, all kinds of people could do that kind of job. You know what I mean? You know, weirdos. So it wouldn't surprise me if someone did something like that. But then you presume that he killed him, because again, like, let's face it. Right now, you've dumped a body in the bloody wood in the mountains. So we presume you've killed him, but now but then you confessed. Oh, actually, he confessed to moving the body into mountains. But why did you do that? That's what I want to know next. Why the hell did you do it? And at that point, not only him, but who else was on staff that night? Could it have been another patient that suffocated him? That's another potential reality. You know, they can have fights. There's more than one person on that ward. There's loads of different people with dementia. What about security cameras? Why isn't there any bloody security cameras? What's going on there? If I budge on that, I'll be admitting Okubo did it before the trial even started.
Oh, sure. But come on, Yagami. Guy's got a history of assault, and it's on record.
Oh, okay.
His girlfriend accidentally broke her finger.
Right, but that was over 6 years ago. He was just a kid. Got drunk, made a huge mistake.
And what? It's okay for a kid to hit a woman?
Of course not. But that's not what he's on trial for.
True.
I don't condone what he did. But legally, committing one crime doesn't mean you're guilty of another.
Fine. But what about Okubo's shaky alibi? He said he left the center at 10 a.m. after grabbing the sheets from the general ward. Claimed Waku-san's corpse somehow got loaded into his truck.
Ah.
Who's gonna believe garbage like that?
If anyone should, it's his lawyers.
We're meeting with Okubo after this, right? You should just be honest with him. Tell him the case is unwinnable.
Are you two done here?
Yep. Can you show us the garage next? The one where Okubo-kun parked it.
So hold on. So now the guy's actually, see, again, the devil's in the detail here, because now he's saying, now we found out that the body was found on his truck. I could get in my truck, drive down the street, the police stop me, and then they say, there's a body in your car, dude, you're under arrest. You've murdered this person. I'm like, wait, what? So that's plausible. Someone could have just dumped the body in a vehicle, maybe to frame him, so that's just a weirdo dude, it's him, you know, no one cares about this dude, he's just pin it all on him. Somebody could have, yeah, so if he just drove with it and didn't know, that's a possibility. It's plausible. I'm not going to say it's not, I mean, let's face it can be unlikely, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense. Again, if you haven't committed a murder, assuming he hasn't, and he's just moved the body, in context, and I kept asking the question, why would you move a body? That kind of would make sense. If you didn't even know it was in his truck, that could happen. So, it's looking interesting. What I'm saying is, right now he looks like he's guilty, but there are other elements to it where it says he could be innocent, and they're kind of short and they're like far shot that he's innocent, But what I want is more conclusive evidence. I want handprints marks around the guy's throat, or maybe like, you know, is it his hands? Is it DNA linked there? You know, it's security camera footage. I want actual, you know, more conclusive stuff to convict him on. This is all substantial. In theory, I can see what you can pick it apart. You know what I mean? Interesting stuff though. But again, when it comes to the history of something, if you have a violent history of doing it, of doing something, they're going to look at that as well. You know what I mean? It may not mean, and it just sucks. It's the way it is, because if you have a history of something like being violent or whatever, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's been a fight and someone fell through a glass window and died or something, and you're there, or you've got blood on your hands or whatever it is, or you're in the vicinity, and you're one of 5, 6, 7 suspects, they're going to look at you and go, hey, you've been known for doing this kind of crazy stuff or for being violent. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So they're going to look at previous cases and say you've got a history of it. So again, I don't blame them for thinking this is an open and shut case in many ways. But again, it has to be more conclusive for me.
The service entrance, I think it was. That's the only other place we'll need to see today.
We'll need to take an elevator down there. Follow me.
Okay. New info has been added to your case file. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go.
I'm ready to go.
This girl's growing on me. I kind of like her. Wonder if she's one of the chicks we can date. That would be a little bit weird though, because let's face it, we're investigating a case here and everything. Then again, this was 3 years ago, so probably not. So we've got to take an elevator down to where he parked. Where's the other dude? Oh, you're right there. Jesus.
Hey, Yagami, you're never gonna last if you keep taking cases like this. Criminal suits are a constant test of your conviction, your sense of justice. They don't even pay that well.
Careful who you say that around.
Look, just chill out, okay? Take it from me. I've been around the block way longer than you have. Looks like a regular old garage to me.
You'd make it out with no problem if you put a body into your truck down here. It's quiet.
It is.
Hey, Yagami, check this out. These are the carts they use to collect sheets and linens. Day of the crime, Okubo was all over the hospital with one of these things. It would have been simple for him to sneak a body in there.
Yes, indeed.
Right out.
Maybe so. Where was Okubo parked on the day of the incident?
Oh,
Investigate the parking lot. Okay. I would have said it's kind of irrelevant, but where he was parked, but obviously he's going to check that parking space. Do I have to just run around, or just speak to the dude? I suppose it's not a very big garage, is it? Really? Whatever. Speak to him.
the truck was parked here, with the back facing the elevator. Here's a recreation of it.
I see.
DNA
Yeah.
evidence from the victim was found in the flatbed of the truck. That's proof enough that the body was there. And when they confronted Oko, he flat out admitted it.
So okay, so it seems, to be fair, the truck was loading the linen on it, I suppose. He came down here with the linen and then put it on the truck. So that was like in prep for it overall. Okay. He confessed that the body was in there. Oh, wait, hold on. So he confessed that the body was definitely in there, but it doesn't mean that he walked out with it, put it in there specifically. Let's talk to her.
When was Waku-san last seen?
just before 8 a.m. on the day of the crime.
Yeah, 7:50 to be precise. An ADDC scientist will be testifying to that. He claims he saw him nice and cozy in his bed.
I see. Can we talk to this witness?
I tried to get an appointment, but they shut me down. Said they don't want us interfering with their research anymore.
They're not willing to make an exception this once?
This isn't an issue you want to push, Yagami. Worst case scenario, you get charged with witness intimidation.
All right. Anyway, the victim was last seen at 7:50.
That's right. Breakfast is at 8 o'clock, so the patients who can walk on their own gather in the break room. But on the day of his disappearance, 8:30 came and went with no sign of Waku-san.
You thought you'd find him quickly. Didn't exactly turn out that way.
Right.
Got that, Yagami? Here, let's go over some more details.
Sure, let's hear what the great Shinati Sensei has to say.
What we know is, Waku was taken out of his room sometime between 7:50 when he was last seen, and 8:30 when everyone noticed he was gone. During that 40-minute span, somebody suffocated Waku and stuffed him into the laundry bin. Nobody suspected there was a body in the cart. And the only clear culprit was Okubo, the man in charge of the laundry. To further back this up, DNA evidence from Waku was found in Okubo's truck. Then when the police questioned Okubo, he confessed to burying the body in the mountains of Okutama. 3 months after the crime, Waku's corpse was finally found. With me? This thing's airtight, Yagami.
He confessed to burying it. So you wouldn't be astounded that there was a body there, but if he didn't kill him... So he must be protecting someone. If he didn't kill... Who killed him then? If you're not confessing... I still want to know the context of... Like, did you drive away and then discover the body was there? And then you buried him? Why didn't you just report it straight away? Saying that you drove away in your truck... And there was a body in your truck. And you didn't know. You only noticed when you was clearing it out. Why would you start burying it? It doesn't make sense.
I know you're getting into this, but come on. Just give it up already. You don't have a chance.
Even though Okubo says he's innocent, I promised him we'd do everything we could.
Not my problem. You shouldn't make promises you can't keep.
Fine, then I'll do it alone. You don't have to be involved.
Even if I'm not, the loss will hurt Genda-sensei's reputation.
I'm sorry, but our client says he's innocent. I can't back down from this.
Fine. I'll be in the lobby.
Jesus Christ, what a dick. He just doesn't want to do his job, does he? Doesn't give a shit, he just wants a paycheck.
If you like, I could take you to see Waku-san's room again.
You don't mind? That would be great.
Here I am again. I don't really see anything out of the ordinary though. Why she said I'll show you his room again if you want. Damn, it's being very helpful. Maybe she has ulterior motives. There is a bed here. Alright, I'm joking. But here we go. So, again, not really out of the ordinary. New information has been added to the case file. Evidence updated, yes. Talk to her. Wait, examine.
Was here until the morning of the incident. Then he just up and disappeared.
Just talk. Okay, talk.
Are you finished?
No. Okay.
Not yet.
Right, so we're here for a reason. So let's just check it out.
The window's sealed shut. There's no way Waku-san could have escaped through here.
I don't understand it. Why would you just talk with her? And then it just says, I'm done with my investigation. See what I mean? Don't get it. I can't duck down or anything. There's just nothing here to do. Hold on. What if I go outside? Examine.
I wonder how well you can see in here from the hallway.
Whatever. Let's just talk with her again.
Yeah,
Fine.
I've seen what I need. Anything else you can share?
Like your phone number?
How long will Okubo-san's sentence be?
Huh?
If he's found guilty, that is.
Probably 10 years, maybe more. It's hard to say for sure.
And what if he confesses? Would they shorten his sentence?
Well, at the very least, it'd make a better impression than insisting he didn't do it.
But you're still going to push an innocent plea? Even though Okubo-san is the one who'll suffer for it?
If he's really not guilty, he won't have to. I'll win. But to be perfectly honest, this is my first criminal case.
What?
Civil cases have been a mixed bag for me, too. I've actually lost more than I've won.
Is that so?
Apparently, a smart lawyer would never even consider an innocent plea in this case. Guess it's a good thing that I'm not so smart then, because I honestly believe I can win. Terasawa-san, were you close to Okubo-kun?
Why we... Okay, so she's very interested in how long he would get, just out of curiosity. And this is my first case. And of course you wouldn't say he's innocent in a situation where the deck is stacked against you. You would do a plea bargain, or they would consider the fact that you confess, you get a lesser sentence, lighter. That's just the way it works. In theory. I can't remember off the top of my head. So, I mean, unless it's a plea bargain or something like that, but like a less charge. But obviously they're going for full pelt murder here, even though they don't know the full context of actually what happened. Because if he didn't do anything and he's innocent, then he has no real story to tell other than the fact that I found a body in my truck and I buried it. But the aspect of the strangulation, who did it? There's nothing there. So
I spoke to him pretty often, yes. I would see him around the ward all the time.
And what did you think of him? Did he seem like the kind of guy who'd do something like this?
I'm sorry. The director told us not to say too much.
Wait! If you know anything that can help, just get in touch, okay? I'll do whatever it takes to set Okubo-kun free. But I can't do it alone. Just give it some thought, Terasawa-san.
alright, she got my phone number so we can go on a date. Yes, I'm joking. So the director said not to say too much to his staff. Like, come on. I don't think, in theory, now everyone's different. You don't really know anyone, really. You could have anger issues, rage issues. Like I said, there's a history there of him getting violent. Oh, okay, it's with his girlfriend, an accident, a young man, all the rest of it. But he might have been the sweetest, kindest guy in the world, and no way he would have done it. At the same time, you don't know that person. He could be a violent man or whatever. So, but she knows something, I feel.
Just now, we went to the ADDC. Thought I should have a look at things with my own eyes.
And how did it go?
There's no chance you walk. You're practically a lost cause.
Hey!
Yagami-sensei, is that what you think?
It's like this, Okubo. You tell me you're innocent, and I'll fight to the end. I really have nothing to lose by helping you out.
It's just like I told you. Whoever did it is framing me.
Okay, so he believes he's on yeah, okay. So he's even saying it, he's being framed.
On the day of the crime, you were in the general ward at the ADDC, yes?
Here's the thing. If someone's framing him, who is his enemy? Who is his enemy? Specifically, who does he know who's don't like him? Or maybe it's like the hospital, somebody in the hospital did it. Maybe it was another patient. Maybe it was one of the doctors. I somewhat thought maybe it was one of the nurses. The nurse killed him, and for whatever reason, and was setting this guy up. Maybe he asked one of the nurses on the date, and they're like, or it went bad, and all of a sudden she's like framing him for murder. Don't know. But we'll think outside the box. But again, he isn't just saying he's innocent. He's saying he's being framed. So we've just come across more detail there in his words.
Starting at 8 a.m., you went around to each room and gathered the linens.
Yes. Nobody would dispute that.
And after that, you covered Wakusan's nose and mouth, suffocated him, and then carted him out in the laundry bin.
That's not true. Wakusan wasn't there when I went into his room. I didn't see him at all that day. You have to believe me.
And I do. So when you went down to leave the center at 10 a.m. after gathering the linens, you realized there was a body hidden in the truck.
Yes. That's what happened.
Then why did you drive off and bury him?
And after debating whether or not to report the body, you chose to hide it in the mountains.
You moron. That's going to be a huge hurdle to climb in the trial. Yes, it will. You should have reported it and said, "Oh my God, there's a body in my thing. I didn't see him." You know, this like taking the body away from the scene, burying it. You're nuts.
I had a criminal assault on my record. I knew the police would have suspected me if I went to them.
Oh, you've made it worse yourself.
Bad blood you had with Wakusan?
Huh?
Bad blood? What are you talking about?
3 days before the murder, Wakusan claimed Okubo-kun here punched him and stole his wallet. They told me I'll find it at the center.
When did you even ask?
While you were busy chatting up Terasawa-chan. Even if I bitch about it, I'm still damn good at my job.
Well, Okubo-kun, did you take his wallet or...
Not quite. They call it delusion of theft. It's a symptom of dementia. You think something's been stolen from you, then blame the first person you see. Not the easiest thing to deal with, right? Someone accuses you of theft for no reason? Must have been a shock. So when Wakusan tried to hit you, you just about hit him back.
But I didn't hit him.
No, you murdered him.
I wouldn't kill a man over something like that.
I wish I could believe you, pal. Come on, Okubo-kun. You got a record of violence.
It wasn't me. I swear. Somebody set me up. Please, you have to believe me. Whoever did this is laughing at all of us right now.
Calm down.
Yagami-sensei, do you believe me?
This is interesting stuff. The first so they think something's been stolen from him and then accuse that person of doing it. The first person they see. Interesting. I love how he's accusing me of flirting with a nurse when he himself was making rude, perverted jokes and was all over her. Just because she rejected him, he got jealous. He's a fat, lazy piece of shit. You know, whatever. Interesting information. I wish I could... Again, this information's creeping out. So there was an incident a few days beforehand. So it doesn't look good on him as well. Of course, it doesn't mean he murdered him, but then it's starting to build up a little bit. Like, oh, something did happen there. So, this is crazy.
I do.
Okay. Then next time, come alone.
Ooh.
I can take a hint. You and Yagami-sensei can cuddle up all you want.
Hey, you know that nurse, Terasawa-san? Cute girl. Sounded like she was worried about you. Bet you'd have a chance with her once you get out of here.
I don't know. If you'll excuse me.
So he didn't want to talk. Well, he wanted to, but rather than talk, he just left. Interesting. Lots of information happened there. That was 3 years ago regarding this case. That case.
Shinati just left you hanging, huh?
Oh, I see.
Learn some damn patience.
Maybe so. But this is my case now. I can handle it myself.
Okay.
Oh, I took over the case? That's pretty good. He was being a useless piece of shit anyway.
Yagami-san,
Oh, she's still there. She's working there still?
Lately.
Where's this coming from?
She's just not that great with men. I suggest you be more assertive.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so this is...
friend of yours, Saori-kun? She's got Shintani all riled up. Said he'd have been nicer to you if he knew you had friends who looked like her. Jackass.
Hey, nothing's official yet, guys. Regardless, keep it on the down low, okay?
Yet? That word says more than you think.
Alright. So this is back when I was like trying to be in a relationship with a prosecutor or whatever? What have I got to do then? I can't leave.
I'll keep my lips sealed.
Weird. Do I talk to him then?
Mafia-kun's a prosecutor, right? Isn't it kind of taboo for her to date a defense attorney?
Can we not do this?
Either way, guess the Okubo case comes first. Pleading innocent, yeah?
That's the plan.
What is your plan here? This isn't gonna be an easy win.
Well, I'm working on that. There's one piece of evidence that still bothers me.
Yeah? And what's that?
What should I focus on if I want to prove he's innocent? Paranoid view of the hospital room where, yeah, stayed 2 years. However, he suddenly disappeared. Yeah, okay. Oh, there's a piece of evidence I should focus on. Okay. Wait, the window. The window in the hospital room where he stayed doesn't open, so no one could go through it. Thus, it can be deduced that the only way in and out of the room was through the hallway. Well, we know that, surely. How's that really prove him innocent? A view of hospital room through the window. Wait, hold on. Hospital room through the window. I don't get it. What does that mean? You can't see his face? Oh, what about the autopsy report? Hold on. Diagnosed, yes, disorder suffering from stage of Alzheimer's disease and has been hospitalized 2 years. His okay. Ooh, his body had become decomposing by the time it was found. Well, obviously, yeah, it was months ago. 3 months it was there. Therefore, it can be assumed that he died during or immediately after the moment he went missing. Regarding the cause of death remains unknown. Believed to have been suffocation. Hold on. Again, I want to know how he got suffocated or whatever. A laundry cart used to collect bed sheets. Hospital large enough had a person inside. Many people witnessed the ADDC then a worker pushing said cart in the morning. It disappeared in hospital. Okay. Victim's body fluids. Upon further investigation, the police found traces of the victim's body fluids in his truck bed. Subsequent DNA but the fluids belonged to Wakabat, yeah. Such evidence suggests that Akubu was behind the murder. Don't focus on that. Paranormal? What? A panoramic view of the hospital room, yes. I don't get it. Why would I... Oh, hold on. Zoom in. I don't really know what to focus on here to prove he's innocent. His bed pillow is located to the left side of the mattress? What does that mean? I don't really understand. The window had nothing to do with it. If he was strangled, what would that mean? You know? I generally don't know. No one could have gone through it, thus it can be deduced that the only way, yes. Well, no one's disputing that. I don't know what to focus on here. We'd like to go on the suffocation route. Like, what did they get suffocated with? Where's the weapon? Where was DNA on? Oh, I don't know. It's weird. I have no idea. Panoramic view of the hospital room. I don't get it. The room itself, for evidence, we didn't really... I didn't find anything there. What does that mean, anything? I don't get this. A view of a hospital room through the window, like... I have no idea. I'm missing something myself, guys. I don't know. I'm just going to pick one. I can't bother.
Take a look at this. It's the hospital room the victim was staying in. This is the last place Waku-san was seen before he disappeared. At the time, the witness would have seen Waku-san from this angle through the window in the door, but the cabinet here would have been blocking his face.
Yeah.
In other words, there's room to argue that the witness never actually saw Waku-san to begin with. It might have just looked like there was somebody in there. Or maybe the killer set it up to look that way.
And how would that impact the trial?
Well, the premise that the victim was still alive at 8 o'clock would no longer be on the table. Meaning, the crime could have occurred during a much wider time range.
Oh, I see. Fine. Okay.
We could claim there's no proof that Okubo took Waku-san out of the room.
Right. Not bad.
What the hell's your problem?
Was that Shintani?
I think so.
Get back here!
That bastard. Oh, was eavesdropping on you.
What the hell?
I tried to stop him, but he pulled a stun gun on me.
Hey! Wait up!
It's that nurse. It's the nurse. Chase, mysterious person.
You won't get away!
I see. Look, the way she's running like a girl. She's very thin as well. It's the nurse. I reckon it's the nurse. Or maybe she was, she knows Sanka was trying to find out what we knew, or she was thinking about seeing us. But why did she stun gun that dude? Oh shit. So yeah, it's blatantly that nurse, man. Damn, she's fucking fast. Come on. Okay, it's ridiculous. Alright, we complete it, supposedly. I knew it.
Woman.
Help! Someone help me!
Aren't you Terasawa-san?
Let me go!
We got a groper out here? Scum of the earth!
So go fight them now.
Not on my watch, you son of a bitch!
Street thugs. I'm a look. Don't mess with me. Oh look, the bikes are back. Hold on. I'll use this for now. Ah. Wait, where's the bikes go? I want a bike. Ah, I can't even... I threw into a bike. Damn, my health is garbage. Like, they're taking it back down. I just went before, obviously. I was a badass or whatever, so 3 years ago. Don't mess with lawyers.
Can all lawyers fight like that?
I was right, it was her.
Did you really need to run away like that? I assume you came to see me.
There was something I wanted to talk to you about, yes. But I wasn't sure if I should. Then that pig-headed friend of yours started shouting, so I just lost it.
Okay, but did you have to tase him? Not that he didn't have it coming. Anyway, I'm listening if you want to talk. No matter what it is, I'll keep your secret. Anything you tell me will fall under client attorney privilege.
Well, you know the witness who last saw Waku-san? Said he saw him sleeping in his bed.
Uh-huh.
Well, that witness is a man by the name of Shono-san. He's one of the scientists at the ADDC. Not only that, but he's the director's right-hand man, too.
Ah. Cover up then, huh?
And this is...
He looked nervous, this dude. Pretty much your run-of-the-mill researcher. Yeah, he looked nervous, young, inexperienced. A weak link, I say, in the chain. I suspect we could probably break him or, you know, put pressure on him. Thanks, a miss here.
Yes. He's a very dedicated doctor, so the nurses have a lot of faith in him. But something felt off when I heard what he had to say about the incident.
And what's that?
I guess I'm just skeptical as to whether or not he actually saw Waku-san. I don't think he's intentionally deceiving us, but he may be mistaken somehow. And if I had to guess, I'd say the other nurses feel the same.
Still, why hasn't anyone mentioned this until now?
How could we? Nurses talking about a doctor behind his back? That's not something a nurse could do without consequences. And if it came to a courtroom testimony...
None of you would testify?
Maybe the other nurses wouldn't, but I would. I never really fit in over there anyway. Besides...
Yeah?
I think Okubo-san is innocent.
Oh, really? Sounds like I've finally got an ally on my team.
Alright. Lots of stuff in this video, man, about this case. Even though it's like a past thing, it's not up to date with our current situation. Well, it's part of it, obviously.
I'm currently employed as a researcher at the Advanced Drug Development Center. Part of our research consists of clinical tests we perform on patients in the general ward of the center. On the day of the crime, I was making my usual rounds through the ward.
Shono.
And what time was that?
Around 7:50?
You're sure?
Yes, the patients eat breakfast at precisely 8 o'clock. I always head to the break room myself, right around 2.
This break room, to be precise?
That's correct. Our more mobile patients walk there for breakfast instead of eating in their own rooms. Then, while the nurses help the patients eat, I ask about how they feel and how the medicine is treating them.
And on the day of Waku-san's disappearance, you passed by his room before going to the break room?
Yes.
And in that room, you saw Waku-san lying on the bed?
Yes.
Can you describe the situation to us as you remember it?
The door has a window, so you can see into the room from the hallway.
And this is the room you're referring to, yes?
That's correct. From where I was standing in the hallway, I could see Waku-san lying in bed. He was asleep, with a blanket covering most of his body.
But was he dead or was he asleep?
What time was that?
Around 7:50.
No further questions.
Yagami-sensei, why did you call her to the stand?
She actually asked to testify. Is that a problem?
Not really, no.
Here's my chance for a comeback. Here we go. So I got to now question her.
You were present for Shono-san's testimony just now, yes?
Yes.
And what is your opinion on that testimony?
For a scientist, I felt his wording was rather imprecise. And as a medical professional, I felt his actions were negligent.
Could I ask you to be a little more specific?
Our witness, Shono-san, claims he saw Waku-san sleeping in his bed during his morning rounds. However, there's no way he could have known that just by looking in from the hallway.
I have evidence supporting Terasawa-san's testimony.
Shono shouldn't have been able to see Waku. Yeah, okay. Waku, sorry, I have evidence to prove that. Yeah, we do. This particular image here.
Please look at this. It's a photograph of the victim's room as viewed from the hallway. In other words, this is what Shono-san would have seen when he checked in on Waku-san.
And this evidence points to this fact. The victim was already dead. Hiding in a room. Wait, hiding in the hospital room. That could have been the case. Shono's testimony is a lie. The culprit in Shono claims to be... The culprit is Shono, who claims to be a witness. That's possible. Why would he strangle him? Didn't think of that. He might have already been dead. I assume he was already dead. He could have been hiding. I don't know. I wouldn't say it was a lie. He probably did thingy, but I don't know. I mean, he technically couldn't see him. He could, he couldn't, if you know what I mean. He might have already been dead, so I don't know. Doesn't prove anything. I don't know. I'm thinking, but I do think that though he is a culprit. If he saw, that's a bold claim. Then the testimony is a lie, which technically it is. That he saw someone, but he don't know if he's alive or dead. So I'm gonna go that. It's kind of bold, but if he's looked in at 7:50 and he saw him there, then he's the only other person that would have seen him. After the fact, before that, or sorry, before the guy come round for the linen. So
the one
let's do that.
Waku-san is actually our witness, Shono-san.
Excuse me? What grounds do you have for that assertion?
Grounds? Grounds?
You know what? I didn't actually have evidence.
Please. You know this is a court of law, don't you?
Shoot, I should have calmed down. Let's try this again.
Sorry.
Damn it. Okay, so I failed.
Start over. Our witness, Shono-san, claims he saw Waku-san sleeping in his bed during his morning rounds.
Right.
However, I'm not convinced that's actually what happened.
Shono shouldn't have been able to see him. I have evidence to prove it. Alright, so we got to go down this route again. You have to restart. Okay. So there's the room.
Please look at this. It's a photograph,
right.
In other words.
So we can skip this part. We can say it's a lie. Maybe a culprit was hiding in a room. Or maybe he was already dead. Who was on night staff? We don't even know that. Just say it's a lie for now.
Was lying when he said he saw Waku-san in the bed.
Excuse me?
What he saw from the door was likely nothing more than a bulge of sheets. He couldn't have been able to identify it specifically as Waku-san. So to claim as much in his testimony seems like quite an exaggeration, don't you think?
But common sense would dictate otherwise, would it not? Who would be in the bed other than Waku-san?
The staff nurses are trained to always enter a room when checking in on a patient. In Waku-san's case, it's impossible to tell anything just by looking in from the hallway. There was actually one time a while back where we thought he was under the covers, only to find Waku-san eating in the break room a second later. And upon re-examining the room, we realized that we had mistaken a bunched-up pillow for Waku-san.
The witness makes an important distinction. The prosecution asserts that Shono-san's testimony is clear, that the victim was taken out of his room at some point between 7:50 and 8:30 in the morning. They claim that because of this time frame, the defendant must have smuggled Waku-san's body out in his laundry bin.
That's why Okan was assumed to be the only person, who could have killed him at the time.
But if Shono-san's testimony is invalid, as the defense asserts, we have to consider the possibility that Waku-san was taken in the middle of the night when nobody else was around. After which, the killer could have waited until the morning to plant the body in the defendant's truck. In other words, the defense establishes that there is reasonable doubt that Okubo-san is the killer, rendering the prosecution's central argument unsound. Your Honor, taking this new testimony into account, I'd like to call Shono-san back to the stand for cross-examination.
Alright, so we're gonna talk to Shonen or whatever, the guy. Who's a doctor, or scientist, sorry, researcher. Let's see how Shono responds with evidence and Taro-san's testimony out in the open.
I'll get right to the point. On the day of the crime, what did you see when you looked into Waku-san's room?
I saw Waku-san asleep in his bed, I think.
And did you get a clear look at his face?
I don't remember.
So it's possible that it could have been someone other than Waku-san in that bed. Or maybe even a pillow that you mistook to be Waku-san's body. Isn't that right?
Objection! The defense is leading the witness.
Sustained. Please rephrase the question.
Shono-san, can you say without a doubt that Waku-san was in that bed when you checked on him?
I don't think I can, no.
Then the defense rests. But I do have a quick remark for the prosecution.
Huh?
The prosecution's argument has fallen apart. Now going for the kill.
The charges against my client stem from your assertion that he's the only possible suspect, assuming that took place within the stated time frame. However, the defense has proven without a doubt that Shono-san's testimony is unreliable, establishing reasonable doubt for my client. I would suggest that you withdraw the charges against my client. With such inconclusive evidence, you'll only be wasting the court's precious time.
The prosecution does not consider the witness's testimony inconclusive. His memory of the incident may be fuzzy, yes, but that doesn't change that he saw the victim.
So, your whole case is based on a fuzzy memory? This promising young man's future is at stake, and you're willing to throw that away on unreliable testimony?
Dr. Shono is a bright and diligent researcher. After watching his own grandmother develop dementia, he vowed to create a drug that could cure the disease. After paying his own way through medical school, he went on to become the head researcher at the ADDC. Day after day, Dr. Shono visits his sick patients out of the kindness of his heart, leading to his valiant testimony here today. If you want to know whether I trust this man, then my answer is a resounding yes.
In other words, because he's such a great researcher, his testimony is infallible. His own admission that he's not sure is somehow overlooked? Is that the sum of it?
That's crazy.
Because from here, it sounds like you're putting your faith in Shono-san's title, not his testimony today.
Yes, indeed.
The prosecution is not as easily swayed as you think. And you want to talk reputation? What of your client's history of domestic abuse?
Uh-oh, he's gonna bring up a couple. Yeah. He's got an issue with broke his girlfriend's finger, right?
6 years ago, the defendant broke his girlfriend's finger. The poor girl is still suffering from the effects. And the cause? A minor, drunken disagreement. Now, fast forward to what occurred a few days prior to the crime. Waku-san, suspecting the defendant of stealing his wallet, lashed out and punched the defendant in the face. Given the clearly violent nature of Okubo-san here, that alone would be motivation enough to murder the poor old...
Is something wrong, ma'am? Please remain seated while court is in session.
What does she have to say?
Terasawa-san?
Okubo-san is not a violent person. And he hasn't even had a drink in over 6 years. Not a single drop since the incident.
My court will not stand for this commotion.
He didn't blame Waku-san at all. He knew that the outburst was just caused by his dementia, that it was all the sickness's fault. So there was no reason for him to resort to murder.
Terasawa-san, please.
Okubo-san really is an incredible, caring person.
Please leave this courtroom at once.
You're right that he may be hard to approach, but he's a kind soul, and he always keeps his promises. Okubo-san's not the only person in this courtroom who would be affected by a guilty verdict, either. As a matter of fact, it would break my heart. And even through it all, he wanted me to keep this a secret, not to tell anyone, not even his lawyer, that we were dating.
Ooh.
Even though he knew he could have ended up in prison, making sure I was safe was the only thing in the world he cared about. That's just who he is. But when the prosecution has already decided he's a criminal, how could he possibly be given a fair trial?
Her little outburst wasn't technically admissible, but as the trial dragged on, it hung over the jury like a stone.
Okay, so yeah, the admissible, yeah, so like I don't think it could be valid. But what about all that she said beforehand anyway? Doesn't that mean somewhat a bias in the fact that her testimony is like she's in a relationship with him? She'd do anything to protect him? Wouldn't that be like, hey, you know, we might as well just remove that from the record because it's invalid, because you're sleeping with the dude? But then again, they do that thing where, I don't know if it's in America specifically, where it's like, you cannot be forced to testify against your husband, or technically spouse, or whatever it may be, I don't know. So, and she has kind of defended him, or whatever else, so, I don't know, it's weird, but we'll continue, the ins and outs of it. It's really good, though.
And in the end,
so they were dating.
Shinpei Okubo was found not guilty. But only after his release, everything changed.
Oh, that's right, yeah, she was killed.
The same
damn.
Who so bravely proclaimed Okubo's innocence died by the man's own hand.
Damn. And now we're here.
Hi.
Something wrong?
No, it's nothing, Vice Minister.
But...
I haven't seen you in about 3 years, Kido-san. I see you're still the director.
You look familiar, but I can't quite place the name. I seem to recall you looking sharper.
I'm a detective based in Kamurocho now. The name's Yagami.
Ah, I remember now. You're the reason Terasawa-kun's no longer with us. Remember, Shono?
Okubo-san was unstoppable. If only my testimony had been better.
Shono-san, right?
Does it matter? What brings you here anyway?
I'm investigating a murder, and I'll need your cooperation with it. Just like old times.
They are not pleased to see us, boy. Or me. Damn!
Yes, I see. Yes. Thank you. It does seem we received a phone call from this Shintani-san you speak of.
Do you know who he was calling?
Dr. Shono.
The same Shono-san was with?
Why would Shinati call Shono? The witness for the whole crime. That's weird.
Yes. However, it's unclear as to what the point of the call was meant to be. Shono was away from his desk at the time, you see, and Shintani-san didn't leave a message.
You have no idea what he wanted to talk about?
None. Shono says he doesn't know a Shintani-san, and sees no reason why he would be calling.
Oh, really?
Shono and I co-authored the research paper on AD9. We're quite well known, as it turns out. Sometimes, complete strangers pretend to be close friends or relatives in order to contact us. Perhaps Shintani-san fell into that category.
Have you heard of the mole murders taking place in Kamurocho, Dr. Kido? 3 Yakuza, each one with their eyes gouged out. It's a grisly business. Shintani was killed in the same way.
I've seen the news.
Can you think of anything tying the ADDC to those murders?
Huh? Look, just what are you implying? Look, I believe we're done here. There's nothing I can help you with.
Please stop! You can't!
Who are you?
Detective Kuroiwa, Kamuro Police, Organized Crime. One of your
Damn, what are they doing here?
Information related to the case I'm currently investigating. That would be you, Yagami.
What?
I'd like to speak to you as a material witness to the murder of the lawyer Masamichi Shintani.
Is that so?
So we're being investigated now. Well, it does make sense. He was found in my apartment. Right, so this is the next chapter, I presume.
The mole's latest victim was the lawyer, Shintani. The last call he made brings the case that ruined Yagami 3 years ago back to the surface. A patient was taken from a hospital and found buried in the mountains. Yagami defended the suspect, Shinpei Okubo, and got an acquittal, but 1 month later, he murdered his girlfriend Emi Terasawa with a kitchen knife and burned the remains.
Jesus. So he killed her with a kitchen knife. Chapter 6, Collusion. Collision? Collusion, I think that's collusion. Yeah, collusion. So, the lawyer and... I don't know.
I speak to you as a material witness to the murder of the lawyer Masamichi Shintani.
Is that so?
I'm Hoshino, an attorney at Genda Law Office. Sir, is this interview voluntary, or...?
It is.
It's your call, Yagami-san.
I think I'll pass.
Excuse me?
You have your answer, sir. You can go now.
You can make this easier if you come now. Next time, it won't be voluntary.
Your empty threats don't mean much to a lawyer.
Can you take this elsewhere? I really must be...
Too bad he's not a lawyer anymore, then. Your friend's nothing now. Just come along quietly. I'll come back with a warrant if I have to.
I'd like to see you try. Why do you suspect me anyway? I bet you don't even have a reason.
I can come up with a few good ones.
Enough! Get the hell out of my office.
You'll regret this, Yagami. Kuroiwa-san.
You two, out.
Before we go, can we speak to Shono-san for a sec? We need to know why Shintani called him.
Listen, I already told you he doesn't know. Get it through your skull. Now, please leave.
No problem. We'll let you get back to work.
This is really getting out of hand, don't you think? I can't believe that detective thinks you're a material witness.
Yeah. I don't know what he's talking about. But what I'm more interested in is how he even knew where to find me.
That's a good point. How would the police know we were here?
Beats me. For now, let's focus on Shono, though. It would be a waste coming here and not talking to him.
Agreed. Let's see if the receptionist can help us.
Alright, new info's been added to the case file, blah blah blah, we know that. We've got to talk to the receptionist. Guys, I am going to leave it here. Lots of stuff went down in this video, man, it's overly complicated. So the police arrived there. I reckon somebody in this place obviously don't like us being here and called the police and just informed them. So yeah, man, so much detail in this video. So the guy buried him in the mountains, saw him, made the stupid decision to drive him there, even though after he saw him, the witness said that he saw the body in the room. It may not have been him, blah blah blah, he was mistaken. So somebody did it, and then obviously, you know, put it in the truck later on, and that's how this guy's kind of being framed. The fact that the nurse was actually dating the suspect as well, and then, like, obviously I forgot about the fact that 2 or 3 months later he actually ended up knifing her, apparently, according to this. It's like, damn, man, we defended him, he got off, and then knifed her and set her on fire. Part of me thinks that he was still a witness, or he was a loose end on the murder. So somebody went round there and maybe broke in, stabbed her, set the place on fire. He went in to save her or something, you know, or whatever. And then obviously the police are pinning it all on him. I don't know. So it's my theory. I'm still maybe giving him benefit of the doubt. A little too much, because I'm assuming 100% he's innocent, but I feel there's a bigger plot going on here, and I just don't know what it is. Slowly but surely it's being revealed here and there, you know, because saying, and then it's what's coming out in facts. Like I said, he didn't move the body, he just saw the body in his truck and drove it to the mountains. Again, you know, it's kind of weird. So yeah, and then, man, my God, then we're a key witness in the murder of the lawyer, which makes sense, because let's face it, he was found in our apartment, so we would be a witness. We've declined to speak to the guy who probably wants revenge on us as well after shutting down his case. So a lot of stuff has gone on in this video, man. I know it's been hard to comprehend. Please bear with it. It is what it is, and we're still not leaving. We're still not done. In the next video, we're going to be doing we're going to be talking to Shono, or trying to get at him. We're going to speak to the secretary. So we're still not leaving here. My God, it's been a battle. Not a lot of gameplay. It's just more story. Then again, we did have, like, what, X, Y, and Z amount of side stories and stuff like that in the previous 2 videos. So, you know, about time we got a lot of cutscenes, and we've got a massive share here. But again, this is really a valid video for the context of this game. My God. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for watching.